Muslim means in English submitter. It doesn't mean who is submitting to Allah. He just means submitter. So when a person submits to anything he's submitting. He's a submitter. Now if I submit to ayats of Allah, Allah's ayats, the signs, I'm submitting to Allah, submitting to His verses, His ayats, so I'm submitting to Allah. So I am Muslim for Allah or to Allah. We all, the so-called, all the Muslims who are submitting to the ayats of Allah are Muslims to Allah. But this nature of man to submit is in all mankind. All mankind are submitters, meaning they have got the nature to submit to anything. But they have to submit in the true sense to the ayats of Allah. That is the lecture. You will find in the world, people are submitting to various schools of thoughts. In the whole world, there are religions which are prevailing by certain labels. Like for example, people who are following the Bible. So there are people in the world who are following the Bible, they are submitting to the biblical concepts, so they are Muslim Christians, people who are following the Christianity. So the word Arabic word Muslim, since it is not translated, so if I am giving the translation, you must understand how the world, all mankind are submitting to a particular school. People who are following Judaism, that ism that refer to Judah, and people who submit to that are Jews. So they are submitting to Judaism. So what I am referring to, that no man can take out this word Muslim meaning submitter from any man of the world. Any man or human being born on this planet Earth is submitting. That means they are Muslim to whatever the school of thought they belong or they affiliated to. So they are the best. Basically, this is the system, the deen, the judgment in the eyes of Allah. He has made man and He has gave the man the fitrah to submit, the nature to submit. So if he is submitting to a particular school, so he is a Muslim to that, submitting to that, submitter to that. So people who are Buddhists, the people are Muslim Buddhists, submitting to Buddhism. Who are Christian Muslim, they are Muslim Christian. So in every word, in every ism, you add Muslim to it and give the meaning. Muslim submitter to Judaism, Muslim submitter to Hinduism, Muslim submitter to Christianity, Muslim submitter to atheism, Muslim submitter to his own vain desires, Muslim submitter to the devil, the shaitan. So whatever you submit is you are Muslim to that. This is the system or the fitrat of Allah made given to man. So ultimately what we have to submit in the true essence is submit to Allah's ayat or Allah's message that we have received in the Quran. So our object is to submit to the ayats of Allah so that we become submitters, Muslims for Allah. That is the basic purpose of mankind in this world. That he has come in this world to has to give his account. So he has to become or to be submitting to the ayat or the essence for Allah. He should be a Muslim to Allah, for Allah. Otherwise, he is, if he doesn't know the ayats or the governing ayats, that means he is submitting to some other things, thinking that he is submitting to the Allah's message, maybe. So this is how that is why I am giving this word the meaning. Then Islam is another word that means to attain peace. Islam means to attain peace. So in the system in the world, people would like to live in peace. People would like to live in peace. Wherever there are certain rules and regulations, people try to educate, these are the rules and regulations. If you follow these rules and regulations, you submit to those rules and regulations, you are submitting to that rules to attain peace. And they give this label as Christianity. Or they say this is Hinduism, this is Buddhism, this is agnosticism, this is don't believe in God, this is atheism. In any ism, you have to follow certain rules. You have to submit to those rules to get Islam, to get peace, to attain peace. This is the system of the whole world. But they do not give you, they give you the labels. Okay, if you agree to this ideology, you are this. You agree to this idea, you are this. But basically, you are submitting to a certain thing, you are Muslim. What are you trying to achieve? Peace, Islam. But you will never attain peace until you follow the ayats of Allah or the submission to the ayats of Allah. But what I'm trying to say, the whole world is not following their nature is basically devised as such that they have to submit. They will submit to one or another thing. If they don't submit to the ayats of Allah, they are submitting to any particular school. And for that, they are thinking that they're attaining Islam or peace. But the label they may put on themselves whatsoever. That is what the label they put. So now we will see what the ayats of Allah has to say about Islam, just to the 1 or 2 verse, and then we will see how the word Muslim has occurred in the ayats of Allah. For that we go to Surah Aal-e-Imran 3 and ayah 19. Inna ad-deena indallahi al-Islam. Surely ad-deen, the judgment, in the nearness of Allah is al-Islam, to attain peace. So Allah is telling, Inna ad-deena indallahi al-Islam. Surely the deen, the judgment, in the nearness of Allah is al-Islam, to attain peace. Meaning whatever you have to judge, you judge a situation, there is a problem in your life, you have to take a judgment in a manner that finally you should attain peace. That is the purpose of life. In life you want peace. So that whenever the problem or a situation arises in your life, you have to judge the situation and you have to take the decision in a manner that you attain peace. Al-Islam. So this is the ayat is saying that all the ayats that are referred in the Quran, which Allah is giving certain rules, the do's and the don'ts. The muhkam ayat, the governing ayats, by virtue we have to govern our personalities, our psyches. So there are muhkam ayat where we have to listen, we have to follow the do's and we have to follow the don'ts. And finally the result is that we have to attain peace if you implement. If we will not implement those governing ayats, then you will not attain Islam, you will not attain peace. So this is what Allah is saying, that judgment in the nearness of Allah is as al-Islam, to attain peace. Inna ad-deena indallahi al-Islam. Surely ad-deen, the judgment in the nearness of Allah is al-Islam, to attain peace.